All right. So thank you very much for attending this session. I welcome with my full heart to all of you for attending my live session for the SAP Analytics Cloud Planning and Reporting, which is starting today. It is going to be a weekend only batch, and this is the first batch. So I'm really excited, and I welcome all of you once again. So today's agenda for the meeting, for the session is going to be more of an introduction. So this is the agenda for today. Please hold on to your questions. I know you might have tons of questions. So please, I would request all of you to hold on to that because we will have a smooth sale of the content of the class first, and then we will take the question and answer. I will definitely dedicate a section for Q&A, as I always do in my trainings. People who have already attended my live trainings before for BW for HANA, they know that I give a lot of importance to questions and answers. So definitely we'll have a section for that. But I'm not going to be able to answer on an ad hoc basis these questions and answers because that will interrupt the flow of the class. So please bear with me, and we will have a question and answer separately. All right. So the first thing what we are going to check today is logistics and how will you access these recordings. So this is great that you are part of the live batch. I'm really excited to have all of you here. But what if people are not able to join because of their time zone or because of their other commitments?
Devanshu, my apologies to break your rhythm. Seriously, sorry. This
yes,
is
Murthy.
Can you please increase your volume a bit? It's a bit distorted, that's why. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to increase my volume. For others, is it the same?
No, it's very clear.
No, it's very clear. Fine for me.
Now it is clear.
Okay.
Very
Okay,
clear.
perfect. Yeah. Please keep telling me about these logistics issues. If you're not able to hear, maybe it's a problem from your side. So I would request you to check from your side as well. But I will check from my side as well if there is any issues. Okay, perfect. So,
Hi, Devanshu.
hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome again. I know people are still joining, so I welcome all of you once again to the session. We have just started, so don't worry, you haven't missed anything. I have just started and I am going through the agenda for today. Okay, I would request all of you to be on mute. I will definitely open the session for Q&A so that you can ask your questions and we can try to answer them. By the way, I'm really excited to see some old people from my old batch. By old, I don't mean by age. You all are very young at heart, I know, but the people who were already there as part of my training before. So really excited to see, and more excited to see new people as well. So welcome once again. Okay. So basically, we'll go through the logistics and how you are going to access these recordings. Then we will go through my introduction. I'm going to give a little bit of a background about myself. So we will go through that. And of course, this session is being recorded. So don't worry. The recording is already on. I'm just going to make sure, yes, recording is on. So don't worry. If you are missing anything, then you can go through the recording and then ask your questions at the end, which will also be recorded, by the way. So Q&A sessions will be recorded separately from the main class session so that we don't mix them and we can have a separate Q&A recordings uploaded, which will be helpful for reference purposes later on for interviews or for certification preparation. So we'll go through the Q&A at the end. So after my background, then we will actually delve into the introduction of SAC. SAC stands for SAP Analytics Cloud. So what is it? What is SAC all about? And how it is positioned by SAP? We will look into that as well. And then we will go into license types. So what are the different license types in SAC and how you can access these systems for your practice? We will discuss that as well. Then I will also discuss some very basic frequently asked questions so that people who are new to SAC can also easily understand what SAC is and what are the different aspects associated with SAC. So we will discuss these frequently asked questions also. Then I will talk about certification. This is more for the professionals who are already either experienced in SAC or they are, getting introduced to SAC in their project. They have just started and they are looking for certification as well. So this is geared towards both seasoned professionals and freshers, both. So we'll talk about the certification as well. There has been some changes in the certification. So previously the certification used to be different for planning and different for reporting, but now it has been combined into one certification. So we will discuss that as well and how you can prepare for that. And then we will have a first look into the system, basic look and feel of SAC, how it looks like and how the interface looks like, what is the tool all about and what are the different features of the tool. So a basic introduction of look and feel in the system as well. And then we will have some terminologies which are used in SAC, which is very, very important for all of us to understand what is a model, what is a story, what is a data action, what is a multi-action, what is a canvas story, what is a responsive story. So there are certain terminologies which you will see on the blogs, on the videos, all across the web. These terminologies are used when people talk about SAC. So it is imperative that you all should understand these terminologies and what do these terminologies mean. And with that, we can actually better understand what's happening in SAC as well. Okay, so we'll go into the terminology. And then finally, we'll open the forum for questions and answers. All right. Okay, so people are still joining. I am continuing to admit them, so that will continue. And please let me know again if you're not able to hear me or see my screen. But I'm assuming everybody is able to. All right, so let's get into logistics a little bit, right? That's prerequisite. So first of all, how would you access the recordings? So I have created a YouTube playlist. This is a private playlist. Please remember, this is not a public playlist. This is a private playlist, which will only be accessible to people who are registered for the course. So this is the link I have already given. If you click on the link, it will take you to that particular playlist. Right now, it only has one video. That is just an introduction video for the training, the details of the training and the course content, which I conducted a few days back. But this particular playlist will continue to get updates after each weekend. So after this weekend, I will upload the recording for today and tomorrow. So this playlist, please bookmark this, keep it very handy with you, and all the recordings will be uploaded onto this YouTube private playlist. Okay, access will be given to all the registered individuals. So that is the first thing you have to keep handy. Second thing is material and training notes. So whatever I'm going through here in OneNote and whatever material we'll be referencing, we'll be using throughout the course, how will you access them? So to access that, I have created a OneDrive folder by the name of Batch 1, SAC Training Batch 1. So you will have access to this particular OneDrive folder. This is a Microsoft OneDrive folder. And I have already shared this folder with you. So you should have received an email saying that Batch 1 folder is shared by Debanshu and you should be able to access everything inside this folder. So if you have not got this email, please send me an email at debanshu.mukherjee@gmail.com that I don't have that email which gives me access to this folder and I'll reshare. But I have already reshared to all the live participants. So you should already have that email in your inbox. If not in the inbox, please check your junk email. Sometimes it goes to the junk email as well. In this particular OneDrive folder, you will have material folder, you will have question and answer folder, you will have session notes folder, and then you will have a text document which will have important links. Important links means the OneDrive link, of course, and the YouTube playlist as well. So you can download this particular text and then you can keep these links handy with you. Either you can bookmark them in your browser or you can keep them handy in a text file, and then you can very easily refer to them or jump directly to these links. That's why I've created this important links. And if there are further important links, then we will keep appending the links into this particular text file. So in this material folder, we will have all sorts of material, including certification material. So we have certification material, we have certification practice questionnaire, which at the end of this training, we will go through this so that you people who are interested to take certification, they can easily understand what type of questions you can expect. Again, this is not a dump. I don't believe in dumps, and I don't encourage or practice the dump culture because dumps are not useful at all. They are useless because they will just let you pass certification, yes, but they will not give you that particular knowledge or confidence to face interviews, to face an actual project. So I don't believe in that. This is just a practice questionnaire to help you understand what kind of questions you can expect in the certification. So that's why I've given that practice questionnaire as well. Then I have an eByte and SAP Press book, which I bought. So I bought these books when I was preparing for my certification, when I was in my project and I had to refer to any book. I have an SAP Press book here. Okay, SAP is Cloud. And then I also have an SAP eByte for planning, specifically geared towards planning. So these are the books I am sharing with you as part of this particular training. But these are the ones I bought myself, and I kept myself. I kept it with myself for my own reference and study purposes. So this is also there. And then we have the second, which is second folder, which is Q&A. So in Q&A right now it's empty, but what will happen is similar to what I did in my previous BW for HANA training, we will have from the next weekend onwards, not this weekend, from the next weekend onwards, what we are going to have is half an hour before the session, we will have 30 minutes of pre-Q&A. And then half an hour after the session, we will have post Q&A. So these are the two sessions we will dedicate for Q&A. And those Q&A, if you have any questions, please put your Word document or Excel sheet. I would prefer an Excel sheet with your name. So you will create or upload this Excel sheet here with your name, and then we can take those questions day-wise or each session-wise. But that will start from next week onwards. Why next week? Because we will have covered enough content by next week to have questions in your mind. Okay, so that's why not this weekend, that's why it's empty. But starting next weekend, please upload in Excel format by your name, so that Excel should have your name. So for example, if I upload an Excel, okay, I'm just going to create here. If I create an Excel here.
You're not sharing, Dibanshu. Are you trying to show?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen. Aren't you able to see my screen?
No. Is anyone able to?
Yes,
We can see the screen.
Yeah, we can.
We can
Yes.
see.
Yes, we can able to see.
Yeah.
Okay, Shri, can you please maybe rejoin? Because
Yeah, sure.
all the others are able to see. Okay, so I have put my question here. So for example, session 1, which is 21st of, or session 3, it will start from session 3. And what is going to be the date for session 3, which is going to be my 28th of September, right? So it is going to be 28th September 2024, for example. Okay, and then I will ask my question, what is the difference between SAC and Power BI? Example, right? You can have a question that, okay, my current client is assessing which tool to go for, SAC or Power BI. Power BI, as you know, is already very popular from Microsoft. So which one should I choose, and what should be the criteria? That can be one of your questions, right? So now I have my question. I will rename it to Devanshu example. Okay, you will not have example in the name, but I am going to have example, and I have saved it here. So if I go back to my OneDrive folder, Q&A, I will have one Excel by my name, Devanshu. So similarly, Shrikant, for example, or Mandeep or Abhay, they will have Excel by their name only. No underscore example needed. This is just for reference purposes. That's why I put underscore example and put the session. So if you have that, if you want to get answer in that session, put that session. Or if you have question from that session, then put that session number and then put your question here. And then I will try to answer them in the pre-Q&A session and in the post Q&A session. Okay.
Dipanshu, hi. One question.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you prefer to have separate file for each section, or do you want per user one file that is to be updated every session in case we have questions?
Well, both are okay. If you guys think that there should be a file for each session, we can have that as well. But if you think the file for each person is better, then I'm okay with both strategy. Let me know what you guys think. We'll go with the majority vote. So if you guys think that Excel for each session will be better, then I'll create that. Otherwise, we'll go with individual Excel. Your choice.
So better if you have a session-wise Excel sheet, Devanshu.
Okay. If everyone is okay with that, then we'll create session-wise as well.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay. So we'll go for the session-wise. So then we will not have this specific, so I will rename it. So if I want to create one,
I think you can leave the same document, Devanshu, just the sheets. We keep for each session a sheet. We can still stick to one document. That's easy, right?
Sorry, come again.
If we stick to each sheet a session, we can stick with one workbook. Still, it is valid, right?
Yeah, that's what we are doing. So one sheet will be specific to one session. Or one weekend maybe, right? So instead of having maybe 40 sheets, we will have only 20 sheets, 15, 20 sheets. So that way we can have. So for example, I will have or you know what, it is better to have session wise. In fact, because session wise we will have, because we are having separate classes on each day, Saturday and Sunday. So having a separate Excel for each session will be better. I know it might go to 35-40 sessions and it might end up with 35-40 Excel sheets, but that's okay. We can move on. So we'll have session 1, 21st September 2024. Okay, this is again, yeah, this is open. That's why I cannot rename it. Let me rename it again. Session 1, 21st September 2024. Okay. So I will create after this session today, I will create one Excel sheet for each session and then we can put the questions there. Right? Okay. Then if we go back.
Sorry, Dipanshu, I'm still slightly confused. So we have just one sheet per session and everyone will put his or her questions in that sheet.
Yes,
correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's better to maintain the column for the name as well.
I'll do that. So I will maintain a column for the name. Or if you are putting the question, please populate that column with the name. I'll give you the structure and then you can populate that structure. Okay. All right. So that is Q&A. So that's how we'll handle Q&A. And of course, at the end of the session, in the class, main class itself, we can take few questions, but then starting next weekend, we will have dedicated sessions pre and post. Okay, let me admit Shrikant again. I think he joined again because he was not able to see the screen. So I'll just confirm with Shrikant. Are you able to see my screen now? Shrikant, can you confirm if you are able to see my screen and hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so that is the Q&A. And then we will have session notes as well. In this session notes, you will have the OneNote. The OneNote which I am going through with you in the class, that particular OneNote will be stored in the session note. So you can have the access to OneNote, and we will have different session notes, specific pages. So we'll have session 1 specific page, which is today we are going through it. Tomorrow we'll have session 2 specific. So I will keep augmenting this particular OneNote with different pages for each session. So as we go along, a session page will be added to this OneNote. So that is the folder you should have access to, which is batch 01, which will have material, Q&A, session notes, and important links. Of course, as we go along, if we feel that more folders should be created, I want to keep it very organized, I don't want to clutter it. So we'll keep it as organized as possible, and then we'll create subfolders if required, if we require, as we go along. Okay. All right. So that is the material and training notes. So we covered how are you going to access the recordings. It is a private YouTube playlist. The link is already there in the important links. And also we have the material and training notes folder where you are going to access your session notes plus your material. Training modus operandi. So when will this training be? As you already know, I don't think anyone is confused, but just to reiterate still, we will have this training every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, starting today, from 9 to 11 a.m. Toronto, Canada time, which is your EST, Eastern Standard Time, which is 6:30 to 8:30 India time, which is your IST, which is PM in the evening, 6:30 to 8:30 PM India time. It is 11 PM to 1 AM Australia time. There are few candidates from Australia as well, I know. Thanks for, taking the time. I know it's very, very late for you. So as you know that, we have recordings, so you don't have to worry that you will miss anything. We have recordings, so you can go through the recordings as well. And then London, UK, we have 2 to 4 PM, which is some participants are from London, UK as well. So this is basically the time zone. I am in Toronto, Canada. So that's why EST is my time zone. So this is why I will conduct this in 9 to 11 AM EST. Training will be held via Zoom meeting, screen sharing. As we all know, I have shared the Zoom meeting. That's why you are here today. I will again ensure that, all the participants have the Zoom meeting. I send the reminder today as well. 30 minutes before the session, I send the reminder email to everyone. Again, it also has the Zoom meeting link. So we will use the same Zoom meeting link. The Zoom meeting link will not change. The same Zoom meeting link will be used for all the sessions. Throughout the training, we will use the same Zoom meeting link. Recordings will be shared after every class within 48 hours. So please don't expect that as soon as the class is over, the recording should be available. No, because it takes time for Zoom to process the recording, and it takes time for me to upload on the YouTube. So that's why I'm requesting you 48 hours. Please allow me 48 hours so that I can upload the recording and then share it on that private YouTube playlist. So it will be shared within 48 hours. Q&A session, as I already told you, will be held from second week onwards, 30 minutes before the session and 30 minutes after the session. We have now finalized the approach for the Excel sheet. There will be a session specific Excel sheet. I will put the columns there, and then you can put your name and your question accordingly, and then we'll discuss them. Okay. Now a little bit about myself. So as you all know, I have mostly SAP analytics background. So I have total 18 years of total experience. I started my journey in SAP analytics in 2005. I was back in India at that time.
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, one of my friend is trying to log in actually. So his name is Apparao, but he is not able to log in because of this head count.
Because
So
of the head count?
yeah, participants are nearly 100 members. So because of that, he is not
Yeah.
able to log in.
Yes, Devansh, even I got the same error. That's why I got delayed to join actually. It's exceed 100. I don't know why.
Yeah,
No,
but
currently the count is 100 only.
yeah, currently the count is 100, yes. But
If new one,
I thought that no, but my Zoom should allow 200, up to 200 people. So is it, what error is it throwing to you? That you have exceeded the number?
yes, it's telling exceeded the number. I had sent you the screenshot in WhatsApp if you want. You can have a look.
Okay. The meeting has a maximum of 100 participants. Please try again later. Okay, I have to see because I have a paid version of Zoom, which allows 200, up to 200. That's the license I have. I don't know why it's stopping you at 100. So maybe there is a setting I have to increase the number to maximum. I'm not sure exactly right now how to do that. So for now, I think we will continue with
Yeah.
with 100, but definitely don't worry about it. I will make sure that it is more more than 100, because I know that the license I have, which is the enterprise Zoom workplace, it should allow you 200 people. But I'll check that. I'll check that. Thanks for letting me know. Definitely
okay.
I'll increase the number from tomorrow onwards. But because I don't know exactly where I can increase that setting, I might have to go into the website, Zoom website, and then change the setting from there. Okay. If anyone knows the place where I can quickly do this setting, then please let me know. Otherwise, I'll do it from next class onwards. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, in this class, we are not going to cover a lot of content, so don't worry. It is just an introduction class, so recording will be available anyways. So I will make sure that recordings is accessible to them. And from tomorrow onwards, I will make sure we increase the number. Just give me 1 second. Let me see if I can increase from here. Participants. Yeah, I'll have to go into the settings. The main settings for Zoom, and then increase from there. Okay, sorry about that. Please bear with me for this class. I will make sure that it is there from next class onwards. Okay, let's continue. So yeah, so I was telling you about myself. We have I have total 18 years of experience with 4 projects in SAC. This is my 4th project which I'm working on currently. It is a SAC planning and reporting end-to-end project. So including the current one, I have completed 4 of the SAC planning and reporting projects. Mostly it was planning. I have DataSphere projects as well. I completed 2 of them. BW for HANA end-to-end projects, I have completed 5. Same for HANA, native HANA, I've completed 5 of them. And recently, I was also a part of PAPM projects, which is PAPM Cloud. So PAPM Cloud is the recent cloud version of PAPM. PAPM stands for Profitability and Performance Management. It is basically a HANA-based engine. It's a very strong engine, which is primarily used for allocations. So in my current project and previous project, we had PAPM. So I was fortunate to have my hands on in PAPM as well. So this is my overall list of core skills. These are my core skills which I have acquired over the past 18 years. BW for HANA, SAC, DataSphere, native HANA, CDS views, and I don't know why I repeated this, not required, and PAPM as well now. So these are the areas where I have my expertise, and I have been doing my previous projects and current project in these areas. I have a previous course as well. This is not my first training. So I have conducted my BW for HANA live training, and we have a Udemy course. Also, I have published that on Udemy. You can either take it directly from me or you can purchase from Udemy, your choice. So, but I have that best-selling course. It was awarded best-selling also. So you can definitely benefit from that. And we have a complete hands-on training for BW for HANA as well. What am I passionate about? Well, I'm a sportsman at heart, so I love sports. So I'm passionate about sports, specifically badminton and swimming. And of course, music I'm passionate about. And needless to say, training. So I'm really passionate about training. That's why I'm doing this. Many people have been asking about this. Many people are still asking about DataSphere training also. My apologies that I could not do this earlier because of my work schedule. It was very hectic. And because I was working on this new tool called PAPM, so I was, very busy and also ramping myself up on this new tool PAPM along with SAC and DataSphere and BW4. So that's why I was not able to take any time out for trainings. But now that the project is in a slower phase, not in a firefighting mode anymore, so I'm now able to resume my trainings, and SAC planning was the next logical step for me because any BW consultant is now looking for to hone their skills in SAC also, and planning has become very popular in all the markets like your North American markets, your European markets, or Asia Pacific market. SAC planning has took off. It has become really popular and people are now asking for SAC planning skills. SAC reporting is commonly available, right? You will have lots of blogs, lots of YouTube playlists, but for planning, it's not easily available. So that's why I thought, okay, let me conduct a training for SAC planning, and here we are. This is my LinkedIn profile. So you can go through the LinkedIn profile. I have given the link. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and stay in touch on LinkedIn. And then if you want to send me an email, you can definitely send me an email with all your questions or any comments, inputs, anything. This is my email address, devanshu.mukherjee@gmail.com. We can stay in touch via email as well. All right. So before I go and start the actual content, the introductory again, don't worry if people are missing because of that 100 participant limit. We are just going to do theoretical, more on the theoretical introduction, not in the system a lot today. That will happen tomorrow. And anyways, this is recorded. But before I go into that, any questions?
Yes. Dipanshu, you mentioned that the descriptive part, as you mentioned, there are many videos, tutorials, things, and also many customers, at least in my experience, are able to do self-service through storing models as well. Like they create their own widgets. Planning definitely is something which is demand, at least here in Europe, as I experience. What do you think about the predictive part? Smart predict, these other features which are in predictive. I've not come across any customer so far here who offered or who asked for predictive skills. Do you think it's a tool which is handy for customers? Have you come across customers who used predictive tool?
No, not yet. Even the customers I have been part of, they have not used predictive to that extent. Their purpose was solved by the planning and reporting feature itself. Maybe there are clients, I've heard about some fast track clients. So in SAP Analytics Cloud, there are two types of clients. We have fast track clients and we have regular clients. Fast track clients gets bi-weekly update in SAC. But regular client, they get quarterly updates in SAC, QRC. We call them quarterly release cycle. So QRC is every quarter. That means every 3 months, they will get an update into their SAC tenant, cloud tenant. But there are certain fast track customers, like for example, Colgate or Coca-Cola or Walmart. So there are certain fast track customers which I know. I have not worked on them. Coca-Cola, yes, I worked on Coke, but at that time SAC was not there. It was some time back. So those fast track customers get these bi-weekly update. That means every 2 weeks they'll get their SAC updated, and they are basically the guinea pigs to test these new features from SAP. So SAP has a contract with these fast track customers to test out the new functionalities like your predictive or just ask, which is your machine learning and your AI based technologies. So they definitely test them out, but productively, are they using it or not? I am not sure on that. But I think if you know reporting and planning, then you should be good enough to handle any project. Predictive and your AI and machine learning, etc. That is good to know, but not a must-have for a project. At least for now. Maybe in later it might become mandatory, but right now, no. I don't think you really need to get really detail into that. Yes, you should know the basics of it, how predictive forecasting works, how a time series forecasting works, and I'm gonna show you that as part of this training. But beyond that, I don't think you need that knowledge right now.
I'm assuming these fast track customers will also be paying license prices higher than the ones using quarterly.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Any other questions?
Devanshu, what
Yes,
would be the depth of the SAC reporting and planning? I think in the generic SAC reporting also you're going to cover. Right? So what would be that extent and reporting? Planning is of course.
Okay. So I'll reiterate the question. The question is, what is the depth you will cover in the reporting side and on the planning side? Is that the question?
Yes, Devanshu.
Okay. So the depth I'm going to cover is for the planning side, we are going into the planning models. We will cover the planning models. Data actions, we will cover data actions in great detail. I'm going to write complex data actions together on the screen in front of you. And then I'm going to explain how the data actions work. We are going to debug the data actions using trace points. We will have multi-actions. We'll go into the detail. We will go into the input forms, how the input forms are used in planning. And then we'll also go into allocations, how allocations are done in SAC, and value driver trees, VDTs. So these are all planning related features, which usually you will use. So we will definitely go a great depth of detail in that. On the reporting side, we will also go into details of, how you can create different types of charts, different types of tabular format, how you can do your story-based calculations, how you can use model-based calculations, how you can create your linked analysis, how you can do all different types of story-based features like how you can create input controls, dynamic input controls, measure-based input controls. So we will cover a decent depth for reporting and a great depth on planning in this training.
Devanshu, is this course is
Thank you,
required
Devanshu.
prior knowledge on BPC?
Great question. Yes, I was expecting that. No, it does not require any prior knowledge on BPC, because this is not a course where I will show you how to migrate BPC to SAC. If there is a course where they are showing how to migrate BPC to SAC, yes, BPC knowledge is definitely required. But this course is from scratch SAP Analytics Cloud planning and reporting, focused on planning. But in this course, I'm going to give you the necessary functional knowledge for FI. We are going to take a customer scenario. See, my training is not just theoretical. I am always running with a customer scenario. So I'm going to tell you the customer scenario starting next week. What is the customer scenario? That customer scenario is basically your finance domain customer scenario. So You don't need to have BPC knowledge. You don't need to have any finance knowledge also. If you have, great, it's going to come very handy. But if you don't have, I'm going to provide that basic finance knowledge of how an income statement look like. P&L, profit and loss, we call it as also called income statement. So what are the different components of income statement and what is the basic knowledge you need to understand an income statement? I will provide you that. And then using that, we will build upon the planning on that P&L. So
Thank you.
BPC knowledge, no. And basically there are no prerequisites. The only prerequisite is you should be able to get a trial server for practice, and then you should be able to follow along.
Yeah, thanks on the clarity.
Dibanshu, apart from technical training, are we going to cover any functional like CapEx or OpEx or workflows planning? Like any particular planning in this training?
Yes, P&L planning. So we are going to cover the profit and loss, which is also called income statement planning as part of this. So that is the customer scenario I was talking about. So I will tell you what is an FSV. We will create an FSV, which is a financial statement version, which is a GL hierarchy. So in those CapEx, OpEx, CapEx means capital expenditure, OpEx means operational expenditure, just for letting others know as well. So I'm not going to do CapEx and OpEx planning. I'm going to do P&L planning. P&L planning will have your income statement. So in income statement, you will have your gross sales, your cost of goods sold, your net sales, your interest rates, your taxes, and then your net income. So we will understand how an income statement for a company looks like, what are the different components, and then we are going to go in S4HANA. In this particular training, the data will come from S4HANA. The source is going to be S4HANA, not BW for HANA. So in S4HANA, how an FSV looks like, how that income statement is created as an FSV in the S4HANA system, and then we will load that data in our SAC, and then we will do planning and reporting based on that. So yes, the functional aspect which will be covered is P&L, profit and loss, income statement planning.
So, hi Dibanshu. So,
Okay.
are we gonna discuss the integration like through CDS views, HANA views, etc., and bringing the data to SAC?
That is right. So once we create those FSVs, which is a master data in S4HANA, and then of course transaction data, corresponding transaction data will also be there in S4HANA. So we will be bringing in the data via CDS views. So we will have CDS views in S4HANA, which I'm going to walk you through how a CDS view looks like and how you can create that CDS view. And then we will have the integration also covered, where we will create a connection to S4HANA and then load the master data and transaction data from S4HANA.
And will we have demo system access? Like I know SAC, we can sign up for a SAC trial, but what about HANA and BW? If we
Okay, good question. So for SAC trial, you can have registration easily done on SAP website. So you can get SAC trial as well. And I'm going to show you what kind of trial servers are available. It's part of this content. You can get that. For S4HANA, I have a vendor which I take the server from. So you can also pay to that vendor and get the server. The server is not included as part of this. So I am not going to give you a credential of S4HANA. That server purchase you have to do separately for S4HANA. You might have different vendors. Feel free to choose your own vendor. I choose GetTrained. I have been using GetTrained for my BW for HANA as well. So I will choose GetTrained. They have an S4HANA system, which is, I think, the latest one, 2022. And then I will use that to load the data into SAC.
Okay, then maybe one question from my side. I saw that talking about the integration, we will also see how to integrate the data from BW, right? Practically.
No, integration from BW will not be covered in the system as part of this. Integration with S4HANA is covered. But if you want to know how to integrate BW with SAC, I can definitely try to give you a theoretical knowledge on that. I will definitely give you a theoretical knowledge because the source will be query, BW query. So you create a BW query and then that query becomes a source for your SAC. Or If you have native HANA, your calculation view becomes the source for your SAC. So I can give you that knowledge, but the scenario which I am covering, that is not from BW for HANA, that is from S4HANA.
Okay, thank you. Because under the course, I saw SAC BW, S4HANA, and I'm talking about BW because it is important for one of my coming projects.
Okay.
That was the first part. Then talking about planning, I hope we will cover also the currency conversion because that is also a big topic, right?
Yes, absolutely. We will cover currency conversion. And once you understand how to integrate S4HANA, you can also easily understand how to integrate BW for HANA. Of course, the source object is different. In BW for HANA, it will be your query, and your S4HANA is going to be your CDS views. But the approach is the same. You'll create a connection to those source systems, and then you will create import jobs, and those import jobs will load the data for your master data for public dimensions, and then for model, it is transaction data. So yes, I will give you theoretical knowledge on BW for HANA also. And if time permits, I will ask GetTrained to give me a BW4 server, and we can try to connect that as well. But that only is optional if time permits. I cannot promise you that, but definitely as for HANA, we are going to cover.
Okay, thank you. And the last point was about the data validation, talking about the data locking for planning.
Yes, data locking you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yes, that will be covered as part of this training as well. If you see the course content, we have data locking covered also. And in data locking, I'm going to show you how you can enable the data locking and on what dimensions you can do the data locking. And similarly, the data will be logged for any changes in your input forms.
Okay,
so yes,
perfect.
we will cover
Thank
the
you.
locking as well.
Devanshu, I have one question actually.
Okay, guys, last question, and then
Yeah.
we will go into the content.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will not be able to cover the content. Last question, please.
Just one question I want to ask actually regarding the customer scenario related to the planning. Which one is the most commonly used planning scenario? Or what are which scenarios are mostly used for the planning implementation in SSE?
Okay, good question. So I can tell you from my experience. From my experience, the most common scenario is financial planning. So we have the balance sheet planning and we have the income statement P&L planning. That is one of the most common planning. Another common scenario which I worked on is sales planning, SIP, sales incentive planning. So sales planning is also very common, where you will load the data for different customers and products and the different sales for them, and then plan accordingly that you will put the forecast data for the sales and then do the variance analysis, actual versus plan. Sales is another one. And then third one, which I am currently working on, is product costing. So product costing planning is also used, but in a not very, very common. Very common is sales and finance planning.
Finance, you saying the P&L, not the FP&A planning is different, is it? Or it's the same thing?
Same thing. FP&A is a generic term. FP&A means financial planning and analysis. Within FP&A, there are these subdivisions. So P&L comes under FP&A. Your balance sheet, balance sheet statement planning comes under FP&A. Your cost center planning comes under FP&A. Profit center planning comes under FP&A. So FP&A is an umbrella. These are the subdivisions of the planning.
Okay, thank you, Devanshu.
All right. So no more questions, guys. I'm sorry. I'll again open the forum for questions at the end. Please allow me to complete the content and then we can take the questions. So please mute yourself and let me go ahead with the content. All right. So what is SAC? That is the basic question. I know this might be not a relevant question for seasoned professionals who already have some experience in SAC, but there are some freshers as well. So let me go ahead and discuss that. SAC, first of all, what it stands for, SAP Analytics Cloud. It is a cloud-based tool from SAP. Okay, there is no on-premise version of SAC. There is only a cloud version of SAC, and within cloud you have different cloud versions which we will discuss. But in a nutshell, just understand that it is a cloud-based tool from SAP which can do reporting, which can do planning, and which can do advanced reporting and planning using artificial intelligence and machine learning technology. That is advanced. But the basic functionality is reporting and planning. In fact, planning is more strong or more robust compared to reporting. Reporting is also very, very robust now, but planning was the main primary purpose of SAC. When SAC was created by SAP, the purpose of that was not reporting. They created this tool for planning purposes. That's why planning is very strong in SAC. And gradually, when they saw that, okay, the clients are liking it and they are asking for reporting functionalities as well, then they slowly started doing reporting and dashboarding also. So it is basically a tool. It's the single solution for business intelligence. What I mean by business intelligence is reporting and dashboarding. For planning and for predictive and advanced reporting as well, using machine learning and AI technologies. Okay. So it's a cloud-based single solution for reporting and planning. Okay, simply understand that. Don't get into the jargons of, predictive, AI, machine learning. Yes, they are important to know, but the basic thing what you should understand is it's a tool for reporting and planning. And it is a cloud-based tool. It is not an on-premise based tool. It's a cloud-based tool. That means you should access this using a browser with a URL. So that is what is SAC, SAP and its cloud. It is a tool for reporting, for planning, and some advanced reporting and planning using AI and machine learning. Okay, it can connect to all the types of sources. It is not a data warehousing solution. Please understand that. It is a reporting and planning solution. So the task of BW, it cannot replace BW because BW is a data warehousing solution. It is supposed to consolidate data from various places, transform it and store it. SAC is not a data warehousing tool. It's a reporting tool and also planning tool, right? So it basically gets data from different data sources, which might be BW, which might be your S4HANA, which might be Oracle, third party, or other cloud systems as well. So it can connect to your on-premise systems and it can also connect to cloud systems. It can connect to SAP systems. It can also connect to non-SAP systems. So that is what is SAC in a nutshell. Okay, a planning and reporting tool based in cloud. As simple as that. Okay, we don't need to make it complicated. Yes, complications will come later on, but to start with, this is what you should keep in mind. How is it different from other reporting solutions? Other reporting solutions also we have like Power BI or ClickView, ClickSense or Tableau. So they are, and now Snowflake has its own reporting solution. Cognos, IBM has its own reporting solution. So there are multiple reporting solutions available in the market today. How is SAC different? Okay, SAC is different in two ways. First, it is a pure cloud-based solution because many of the other reporting solutions also have on-prem version and now they are having cloud version also. But SAC from its very inception, from its very beginning was cloud-based. It's a 100% cloud-based solution. And the second differentiator is it has planning in it. Power BI might be better than SAC in reporting and dashboarding, but it does not give you planning. Tableau, same, might be better in reporting and dashboarding, but it also does not have as robust planning functionalities as SAC. So SAC's true differentiator, according to me, is planning functionality. Because in one single tool, you are getting both planning and reporting. And because it is from SAP, it can integrate very well with S4HANA, with ECC, with your BW for HANA, BW on HANA, and all other SAP tools. In fact, all other SAP cloud tools like your SuccessFactors, which is a cloud-based solution, Ariba, which is a cloud-based solution from SAP. It can very easily and seamlessly connect to them as well. So that is the differentiator of SAC. 100% cloud-based, planning enabled, and very seamless integration with SAP systems. In fact, with non-SAP systems, it can also easily connect, but with SAP systems, it has very robust connectivity. So that is the main differentiator of SAC. And also now, as one of the participants mentioned, we have advanced technologies also coming in, like artificial intelligence, machine learning. Like you have your Just Ask. Just Ask is your natural language based functionality. You just ask a question: what is my sales year-on-year comparison of sales between current year and previous year for my bicycle product? Example. You just ask a question, and SAC can take that input and then create bar charts and an entire dashboard for you within a matter of minutes. So that is what is called your predictive and machine learning and AI-based technology. So those advanced technologies are also part of SAC now, but its basic core strength is planning and reporting. That's what makes it stand out from other reporting tools. So core functionality of SAC, there are 4 core functionalities: business intelligence, which is your reporting and dashboarding; planning, which is going to be the focus of this training also. We can have enterprise planning, different types of planning. You can have sales-based planning, you can have finance planning, you can have CapEx, OpEx, product costing planning. You can have HR, which is a headcount or workforce planning. So all different types of planning can be easily done using SAC. And then it can also have your augmented analytics. When we talk about intelligence, artificial intelligence and machine learning, we are talking about augmented analytics. It comes under the umbrella of augmented analytics. That's the term they are using. Okay. So all the new and advanced features are tagged as augmented analytics. And then we have a platform services as well. So SAC can store data also. So it can give you the HANA cloud-based storage. So because when you load the data in a planning model, you will have that data stored in the HANA cloud, which is an embedded HANA cloud, which comes with SAC. You don't have to separately pay for it. It comes with SAC license. So you can store data. So it gives you those enterprise platform as well, which is your database platform along with the reporting. So you can store data in SAC also. You can have live reporting in SAC, and you can also have import data reporting. That means the data will be stored in SAC and then your reports will run on top of that. So those kind of platform services are also part of SAC. Okay, this is just a diagrammatic representation of this is business intelligence, this is your augmented analytics, this is your planning, and this is your enterprise platform services. So these are the core ingredients or core functionality of SAC. And within these core, I would say actually 2 are the main core: your business intelligence and your enterprise planning. And our focus is going to be enterprise planning. What are the types of sources it can connect to? As I told you, it can connect to all types of sources, whether it's a cloud-based source or whether it's a on-premise source. Like for example, SAP native HANA can be one of your source. It can be an on-premise native HANA. It can also be a HANA cloud, a standalone HANA cloud database system. So both can connect to both. We can have BW for HANA, BW on HANA. It can connect to those different versions of BW as well. We can have BPC. BPC can also integrate with SAC. We can have a hybrid approach where some things you do in BPC and then you run your planning functions via the data actions or the triggers in SAC, and then you can do your planning in SAC also. So it can have a hybrid approach with BPC and SAC both in your landscape as well. OData connectivity, you can have third party are usually connected with OData. You can have OData functionality and connectivity as well. Google BigQuery, which is basically the data warehousing solution from Google. Then we have Amazon Redshift, which is again a data warehouse solution from Amazon. So it can connect to those as well. It can connect to a basic SQL server. it can connect to an Oracle server, it can connect to SAP systems and universes as well. Universe means it's a business objects tool, SAP Universe, and some more as well. There is a data connection page given by SAP. This is taken from that page. So there you can see a whole list of data sources which an SAC can connect to. Okay. So this is basically your connectivity. So it can connect to multiple sources, SAP or non-SAP, both cloud-based also and on-prem as well. Okay. Is it available in different languages? Yes, SAP and its cloud is available in different languages other than English. You can change your language preference in your profile. When you log in into SAC, you can access your profile and then you can update your language preferences and it will translate the content as per the available translations. SAC license types and pricing, very important. This is one of the most frequently asked questions I get. What are the different license type from SAP for SAP Analytics Cloud? So there are three options. Okay. We have the Business Intelligence Public Cloud Edition. We have the Planning Professional Edition, again public cloud. And then we have the Planning Standard Edition, again public cloud. So these are the three different buying option from SAP for the SAP Analytics Cloud. Again, the keyword is the buy option. So you can buy the server at a cost, and cost is mentioned here. We have $396 and the duration is minimum 12 months and it can go up to 60 months, which is 5 years. So minimum 1 year, maximum 5 year. One productive tenant will be given to you. It is priced per user per year. So per year, you have to give $396. This is for the Business Intelligence Public Cloud option. Then you have your Planning Professional Edition, which is a full-fledged planning plus reporting. So all the business intelligence features will be included in this Planning Professional also. Plus on top of that, it will have planning, all the planning related functionalities. So we will have this Planning Professional, which is the most expensive one and which is the most comprehensive one as well. It will give you all the functionalities. It is priced per user per year. You have to pay US dollars 13,800 every year for one single user license. If you have more users, then it will be multiplied accordingly. And then you have SAC Standard Edition, Planning Standard Edition. So within planning, we have two, Planning Standard and Planning Professional. Planning Standard is 1,176, but this comes in blocks of 10 user per year. So minimum user you have to buy is 10. You cannot buy just for one user here. You have to buy a minimum for 10 user for a particular year. And this is the price, 1,176 per user per year. So multiply that by 10. So you have to buy minimum 10 users. So what are the features included here? Of course, we will have the business intelligence features, meaning you will have your reporting and dashboarding feature, which will be included. But planning feature will not be included here. Very limited, if any. But if you want full-fledged planning features, then either you go for Standard Edition or you go for Professional Edition. Both will give you the planning, but Professional will give you more options, more administrative functionalities, etc. for planning compared to the Standard. Okay. So that is the license type for SAC. We have the Business Intelligence, we have the Planning Professional, and then we have the Planning Standard. These are subscription-based models. Okay. I'm still not talking about BTP. There is something called BTP. SAP Analytics Cloud was also added as part of BTP, which is deprecated now, by the way. The embedded edition is now deprecated. So I'm not talking about that. That we will come to later on. How you can enable SAC as part of BTP also. I will talk about that tomorrow. But today, just understand that directly you can go on an SAP website and then these options will be provided to you. You can buy these options and these will be your subscription-based models. So there are two types of models. One is the consumption-based, one is the subscription-based. Consumption-based is basically your pay-as-you-go, PAYG. Either you opt for pay-as-you-go, or there is something called free tier as well. So that is all consumption-based model. These are subscription-based model, where you will get business intelligence, where you will get planning professional, where you will get planning standard. Later on, maybe all this will be part of BTP, okay, in future. But right now, you have to separately buy the SAC, SAC version, whatever version you want, from a subscription-based model. But what about trial version? What if I cannot pay this much, right? This is not a small cost. $13,800 per year is not a small cost. Even this times 10, which comes to around $11,000, is not a small cost. Yes, this might be affordable, but this will not give you the planning functionality, right? So what if I don't want to pay? I just want to try the SAC and I want to just try the functionalities. So for that particular purpose, SAP has given you trial servers of SAC. And there are two trial servers given by SAP for SAP Analytics Cloud. Basic trial and advanced trial. So there are two types of trial you can have, and I have given the link for both of them. So if you click on this link, you will go to the page, the product page. Again, I am in Canada, that's why it has redirected me to the Canadian page. For your country, it might redirect you to the appropriate URL. And here, once you accept all the cookies, this is your free trial, but this is a basic trial. Okay, 30-day basic trial. The keyword is basic. So this is your 30-day basic trial. What will it enable you? It will enable you to take a guided journey and discover SAC. What are the key functionalities? We have some data also. Sample data is also given as part of this basic trial. And then you can play around with it. You can see how the features and functionalities work and how the different types of planning, as you can see, FP&A. You have financial planning and analysis enabled. You can see what it looks like. You can have workforce planning, which is HR planning, headcount planning, and then you can play around with the sample data, no setup required. So it already comes with some sample data. So best run bike, that is the sample data which is there, and then you can play around with it. This is the basic trial. So now your question is, what is not included in this basic trial? So first, let's see what is included in this basic trial. So this basic trial is limited to 30 days, which allows you to learn about the solution and capabilities at no cost and through a shared tenant using sample data. Just play around with sample data, see how SAC looks like and what are the different functionalities. And it is also giving you a guided tour. Guided tour means it will give you step-by-step instructions. Okay, click here, go here. This is what this is meant for. Click here now, click there now. So that is called a guided tour. So if I open a trial, basic trial version, I have a basic trial version. So I will open that. So if you see here, I have advanced trial, I have basic trial. So if you go for basic trial, then you will get a user ID and password, okay, for the basic trial. And I got a user ID and password for it. Let me see what is the user ID I got for it. Just give me 1 second. For basic trial. Yeah, so this is the user ID I got for basic trial. I'm going to put that. So in your email, once you go for basic trial, in your email, you will get the user ID and password for it. So I'm going to use that user ID password. Okay, I'm going to log into the basic trial. Okay, so this is the basic trial and I have logged into the home screen of the basic trial. Let it come up. It's still coming up. You have to give it a few seconds. Yes, there you go. So this is my basic trial and this is the user ID which I got, G1180445. So this is the basic trial, and the guided tour which you get as part of this is here. So you see this SAP logo and a blue circle. If you click on this, it will give you a guided tour. It will tell you, okay, let's get started. Basic trial, introduction to SAC. Click here, application overview. It will take you to, it will tell you that the overview can be enabled by this SAP logo. You click on next, it's going to show you, okay, click here, the SAP logo. You will click here on the SAP logo. It will tell you that, okay, this is your home screen. You will click on next. And then it will tell you, okay, this is your recent stories. Then it will tell you this is your recent applications. And this is, you can ask a question with just ask AI functionality, so on and so forth. This is your core application. This is your hamburger icon. This is your core applications where you can access. So it's basically a guided tour. Step by step, it will show you that what is the interface of SAC and what it looks like, what are the different features and functionality. This is very, very useful for an absolute beginner in SAC. You should use this basic trial for absolute beginners and get acclimatized with the basic interface of this tool. Okay, because it's a guided tour. So you don't need to know what is this, what is this, what is this. It will tell you. The SAP has spent some effort in creating this guided tour. So you can leverage that. You can take advantage of that and get yourself familiar with this tool. That is basic trial. What are the limitations of basic trial? The limitation of basic trial is that it offers a selected subset of the functionality. That means not all functionality will be enabled. It is only a subset of functionalities. Some of the functionalities will be grayed out. You cannot use it, or in fact, you might not see that functionality or feature at all. It's not enabled. And administration right or customization is not included. And integration options are not offered. Integration means you cannot connect this to your S/4HANA or BW for HANA or any source. Those integration options are not offered as part of this basic trial. If you want to have these integrations enabled, and if you want to see the administration, how it looks like, the transport, how it looks like, the business content network, all those functionalities which are not there in basic trial, then you have to go for advanced trial. So this is the link. So if you click on that link, this will tell you that you can start with SAC advanced trial. In this advanced trial, you will again get a trial, again, no cost. There is no cost associated with this. These are all free. Trial means it is a free of cost. You will get up to 60 days. Okay. So for 2 months, you can play around with it. And this will enable you for more functionalities than your basic trial. What are the more functionalities? You can connect your data sources. You can connect to different data sources. You can model your data. You can create different visualizations. And you can also play around with augmented analytics. Augmented, if you remember, it is an advanced functionality of your predictive and machine learning, AI, etc. And you can also try predictive planning. Planning is also enabled in this advanced trial. Again, since it's a trial, you might not get 100% of all the functionalities which is enabled in the buying option, in the paid option. But it will give you 80 to 90% of those functionalities, and it will be good enough for you to play around with the different functionalities, which is not available as part of basic trial. I also have basic trial enabled. So if I go into my, okay, I'll open a new tab. If I go into my advanced trial, okay, so we looked at the basic trial, and you will also see the advanced trial. And in the advanced trial, I am logged in using my company ID. So I have my own company and I'm using that business email company ID. So you can use your business email. You have to use your business email there. And then I think it also allows for personal email, if I'm not wrong. I haven't tried that, but I always try with my business email, and you can activate the advanced trial using that. So the difference between the advanced trial and basic trial is, basic trial, of course, is to give you a guided tour, not to let you play around with all the functionalities, whereas advanced trial lets you play around with most of its functionalities. And it is for 60 days. Right now it says 30 days, but after a couple of weeks of usage, it will enable you to extend it for another 30 days. So total advanced trial goes for 60 days and basic trial, I think, goes for 90 days, if I'm not wrong. So here you see there are more options enabled as compared to basic trial, and there is no guided tour. Okay, there is no SAP icon here or logo here, which you can click on and which will show you this step by step. This is this, this is that. It won't give you that. And the URL is also different. If you see, the advanced trial URL will start with SAC trial and then your tenant ID. This is a US 10 based tenant, and this is your tenant ID. Whereas the basic trial will have basic dash trial in the URL. So that is another way to differentiate that this is a basic trial I'm on or this is an advanced trial I'm on. If you are a seasoned professional, if you already have some experience, then go for advanced trial. But if you're an absolute beginner, then I would recommend this basic trial, which will guide you. So get familiar with the interface, and then you can go and get the advanced trial and play around there as well. Both these trial versions are free of cost, and based on your experience, you can use either of them. So initially for 30 days, this basic trial, then from day 20 onwards, it can be extended for 60 more days. I think it goes for total 90 days. And the advanced trial goes for up to 60 days. It will initially be for 30 days, but then you will have option to extend it for another 30 days. And here the difference is, you see, we have a trial user P. So a user ID will be automatically generated for you for the advanced trial, and it will be a TU. TU stands for trial user. But in the basic trial, you will have a user ID and password assigned to you at the time of your registration, which will start from GE, or it might be some other alphabets as well. But usually I've seen the GE naming convention. So this is the basic trial, and that is the advanced trial. So these are the trial options available. And again, if you are familiar with the tool, you want to play around more with it, then you can go for these priced or paid options of business intelligence versus planning professional versus planning standard. Again, this is not part of BTP. You are not going into BTP and buying this. This is a independent subscription-based model which you can buy directly from SAP website. The BTP option I'll show you tomorrow. And what is BTP? This term I'm using might be familiar to someone, might not be familiar to many of us. So don't worry. BTP is a platform which is introduced by SAP. So I'm going to talk about BTP tomorrow. We'll give an introduction to that. SAC was also introduced as part of the BTP. And DataSphere is also part of the BTP. SAC Embedded Edition was also part of the BTP, but now it is deprecated. So don't use that. Use the subscription-based model, which is like you separately go to the SAP website, which you can go on your URL browser and then buy either these options, or you can do the trial options also. So this is a independent from BTP, separately available as a subscription-based model or a trial-based model. Once you enable the trial, you will get 2 emails like this. So once one email I got for my basic trial, welcome to your 30-day SAP Underscore basic trial. And then if you register for your advanced trial, you will get another email saying that welcome to SAP Underscore Cloud. It will not say basic trial or advanced trial. This is your advanced trial one. And of course, if you buy it, then you will get another email saying that congratulations on your purchase. This is your expiry date. So it is valid from this date to this date, and it will give you the URL and user ID password also. And user ID password is single sign-on for those if you are already logged in with your business email, as I told you. So you can use the same business email and password to log into SAC, because SSO, SAML SSO is enabled for those paid versions. Okay. Which browser should I use? You should use Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. These are the 2 approved browsers for SAC by SAP. So SAP recommends that you use these 2 browsers only. Okay, so we have some more content to cover, but before that, I want to take a break. It's been almost 1.5 hours, right? So let's take a quick 10 minutes break. let's come back at 10:30 my time. Right now, my time is 10:21. So let's come back in 9 minutes and then we will resume our remaining content and then we will have a Q&A session as well. Okay. Thank you. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Hi everyone, I'm back. So I think it's 10 minutes. We can resume. Can you please again confirm if you're able to see my screen and hear my voice?
Yes, Devanshu.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, so we will take the Q&A shortly. Don't worry. Let me finish the content and then we'll open the forum for Q&A. Till then, I would request you all to be on mute. All right. So let's continue. So as I told you, the browser you should use is Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. I am using Microsoft Edge. You can use either one of them. It's your choice. In fact, it also works on other browsers, but recommended browsers are Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge. How often will my SAC be upgraded? Yeah, this is a very interesting question because previously in our on-prem systems like BW or SAP ECC or S/4HANA for that matter, they used to get updates based on client. Like for example, if client wants to upgrade BW on HANA to BW for HANA, it's based on client because it's on-prem system completely owned by the client, by the customer. But since SAC is a cloud-based solution and it is mostly a public cloud, I will also tell you about different types of cloud tomorrow. But public cloud in a nutshell means that that particular cloud is shared between different customers. Your tenant will not be shared, but the cloud in which your tenant is hosted will be shared with other customers also. That's why it's called public. That means it's available for other clients also to host their same tenant in the same cloud. That does not mean that you can see the other customers' data or you can access other customers' SAC. No. The tenants are completely secured and isolated, but the space in which the tenants are hosted, the cloud in which the cloud space is shared. That's why it's called public. So that's why SAC Public Cloud Edition is not in customer's hand as far as the updates are concerned. SAP will automatically update your SAC. Why? Because it's in SAP's domain, it's in SAP's contract that whatever cloud you host on, if it's a public cloud edition you're buying, and by the way, SAC you can host on SAP's own cloud, or you can host on Google Cloud Platform, or you can host on Amazon Web Services, AWS. So it is open to all the different types of cloud. It's not that you have to only have SAC based on SAP's cloud. No, it can be an AWS version of cloud. It can be a Google Cloud Platform. So those are the different hyperscalers. We call it hyperscalers. That's the term we use. Hyperscalers means these different companies which provides these massive scale cloud space like Google or Amazon and SAP. Oracle also has its own, but SAP usually collaborates with either Google Cloud Platform or Amazon Web Services or their own cloud, which is the SAP's own cloud. So these public version of SAC in the public cloud will be updated automatically every quarter. We call it QRC, quarterly release cycle. That means SAP will automatically update your SAC tenant with latest features. And the dates are published. It's not that, you don't know when it's going to happen. It's not like that. SAP will publish the dates well in advance that, okay, these are your QRC cycle dates. And on these dates, we will update your SAC. So please prepare. And usually these are on the off business days. That means weekends. They will not do it usually on weekdays because they don't want to disrupt your daily business, obviously. That's why usually that happens on a weekend, but those dates are already published on SAP website. But the key point here to note is quarterly release. So SAC, a public domain SAC, will update on a quarterly basis. There are certain exceptional clients. They are called fast track clients. Those fast track clients will get updates bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. Okay, but those are just 10 to 15% of the clients. The remaining 80-85% of the clients, they will get QRC as long as they're in the public cloud. If they are in the private cloud, then the contract dictates when they want to have the updates done. So we can have different types of cloud. We can have a public cloud. That means the cloud space is shared between different customers. Or you can have a private cloud. That means you have bought that space. You have to, of course, pay more. You have to pay much more than your public cloud version. But that will ensure that your your space in the cloud is private to you, and it is not shared with any other customer, and your data is absolutely dedicated and isolated to you. So that is called private cloud. Many companies which have very confidential data or sensitive data, they sometimes go for private cloud. They are okay to pay extra, but they don't want that risk of hosting their tenant in the public cloud. Although now the security risk is very minimal, close to zero, I would say, because the encryption technologies have advanced, the security protocols have been strictened. So you don't have a risk in public cloud, but there are certain clients like your government, federal government clients, example, right? Which will have government data like DND, for example, Department of National Defense. So they have highly and very confidential data. And even though public cloud offers amazing security, they still don't want to take any risk and they want to go for their own government cloud. We have something called a government cloud also, which is a version of private cloud. So that is just an example I'm giving you. So those kind of customers, they opt for private cloud. But if we leave those few exceptional 10%, 15% clients, the remaining most of the majority of them will have a public cloud version of SAC, and that will have a QRC, quarterly. Why quarterly? Because it aligns with the global strategy from SAP for all the cloud applications. So SAP has decided that quarterly is a good enough time. It's not too soon. It's not too late. It's apt time to release new functionalities. So that's why they chose that globally, the SAP applications, all the cloud applications will have quarterly releases done. That means every 3 months, they will have the updates released. Are these quarterly updates aligned with calendar quarters? That means, is it every March, June, etc.? No, it is not aligned with calendar quarters. These quarterly releases are usually in February, May, August, and November. These months will have the quarterly releases done, and there will be specific dates also which will be published. So you can Google quarterly release cycle of SAC for public cloud. On that page, it will take you to a link, and that link will give you the exact dates in February, in May, in August, in November for the quarterly release cycle. So you can know well in advance that, okay, on this date, on this weekend, in February, in this weekend in May, on this weekend in August, etc., you will have the updates pushed to your tenant. Okay, this is automatic. You cannot stop it until you have unless you have a private cloud. Public cloud will automatically have, and that is there in the contract. When the contract is signed between SAP and you as a company, then this is part of the contract that they will have a QRC pushed. Any maintenance windows? Yes, interesting. So remember when we used to have BW or S4HANA, they used to be down for patch upgrades, for minor releases, for maintenance windows, for general maintenance. So something like that, does it happen for SAC? The answer is yes, it happens for SAC as well. There is a weekly maintenance window And during that weekly maintenance window, SAC will not be available. Okay. Again, usually these are on weekends so that there is no business disruption, but there is a maintenance window. And if you want to know the maintenance window, again, there is a link, maintenance window and major upgrade windows for SAC. It will take you here. And here, once you filter on the SAC product, then you can see you will have maintenance window for SAC for different regions, for APJ, for MENA, for Europe, for Americas. Okay, these are maintenance windows and these are major upgrade windows. Again, there is another window called major upgrades up to 4 times a year. These are your QRCs, quarterly release cycles, which are your upgrade windows. So you will know that every Friday for MENA region, we have 7 p.m. 4 hours of maintenance window. For Asia Pacific, we have every Saturday 3 p.m. for 4 hours. Similarly for Europe, Americas, etc. And then we have major upgrade windows as well. So you will know in advance both about QRCs and about the maintenance window, and then you can prepare accordingly. You can let your clients know, you can let your consultants, developers, and users know about it so that they don't log in during that time and plan accordingly. So there is a maintenance window, but that is very, very transparent and clearly published out. Can I test the next cycle feature? Okay, sometimes what happens is, that there is a QRC, there's an upgrade coming, but can we test that in advance? Like, can we test the feature which is coming in the next maybe 1 month in advance? So yes, SAP has given that functionality. It is called as test edition tenant. You can purchase a test edition tenant, and in that test edition tenant, what happens is those QRC updates are updated weeks in advance compared to general availability. So basically, you can test those functionalities in advance if you want using a test edition tenant. That feature is also provided by SAP for interested clients. How do I know if my SAC is updated? Right? The way the SAC will tell you that it has been upgraded is in the notification. So there will be a prominent notification you can see on your top right-hand side corner in the notification, which will say that SAC has been updated. And also it will accompany a section which will call what's new. That means it will tell you that with this particular release, with this particular update, what features and functionalities have been added. It will clearly tell you that. And there is a what's new video also published by SAP after every quarterly release. How does SAC versioning work? Yes, this is also important to know. Version number. So how is SAC version number created? Every version in SAC will start with a year. It will start with a year followed by the number of that release. So the version number for the first release of 2020 will be 2020.01. Okay. You may notice that QRC versions appear to skip certain numbers. So it might not be that next QRC version is 2020.02. It might be 04. It has skipped 2 numbers. Sometimes it happens. And why that happens? Because we have fast track customers, which I told you, which will get updates every 2 weeks. And those every 2 weeks version number are there for fast track customers. That's why your next QRC version number skips a number and goes to 4. So if there's a bi-weekly and they have got 2 of them already, so there will be 2020.02, 2020.03. 02 and 03 will be for fast track customers, and the QRC customers will get 2020.04. That's why sometimes don't get confused if the numbers are not absolutely in sequence, one after the other. They might skip, and that is because of the fast track customers. Okay, but don't worry. The fast track customers, whatever updates they will get, QRC also will get. It's not that those updates which are bi-weekly are specific to fast track and specially for them. No, it's not like that. It's just that they are getting it faster than the QRC. And that's in their contract for fast track customers. How do I know which version my SAC is on? So if you want to know that, okay, I have got the trial or sorry, I have got the trial or I have got the paid version, but now I want to know which version number it is. So you can go in the system menu and there is an about in the system menu where you will know that what is the exact number of my SAC. So for example, if I have the trial, this is the advanced trial, I can go on this hamburger icon. This is called the hamburger icon or the three vertical lines icon also. I call it hamburger. So if you click on this, you will see all these different options, and at the end you will have system and then you will have about. So in the about, you will know that my version is 2024.18.2. Okay. Client and server, they have two different versions for client and server. I don't know why they have two. I recently have started seeing this. Previously, they used to have only one version, but now they have the client version separately with the server version. So I'll try to get the details of what is the difference and why they are given two. But this is where you will see the version number of your SAC. Then the next question is there a way you can know that when this version is coming or what versions are coming in which releases? The answer is again, yes. You will know that in the Roadmap Explorer. There is something called SAP Roadmap Explorer, and I've given the link here. If you click on the Roadmap Explorer and if you filter for SAC here, you have to filter for SAC. You will know that in Q3, what are the features which are planned to be delivered? In Q4, what are they giving us? In Q1 of 2025, 2, 3, etc. So I think it goes for 8 to 10 quarters, if I'm not wrong, but you can check it out. So you can see that on which future quarters, which release is coming. Like for example, plan auditing, purging audit data based on other filters. This is delivered as part of Q3 2024. Future release activation and deactivation of users from the system for cross-domain. This will be in Q4 2024. Story design, running total story calculation for live business BW based live stories is coming in Q2 2025. So you can have a glimpse of what's coming in the SAC for different QRC in the Roadmap Explorer. How do I access the help? So, okay, I love the tool, but I want to know if there is a documentation for that. Has SAP released any documentation for this tool for me to go through that? And the answer is an emphatic yes. SAP has spent a lot of effort in creating not just documentation, but videos. So there are video playlists on YouTube. There are umpteen blogs you will find, and there are a host of help documentation you will find. And it is very easy to access. How you can access that? If you go to SAC, you will have a question mark help icon here. If you click here, then it will bring you the panel, and in that help panel, you can type your question or the topic on which you want to know more about, or you can you can open the help portal directly from here, or you can actually navigate through, or you can know what are the different sections of my interface, like for example, content management, home and files. What is the purpose of that? Home screen tabs. What are the different tabs in home screen? What are the different applications we have as part of the SAC? So this help is very, very useful and handy. I would encourage all of you to do that. And in this help, you will have help topics. You will also have learning, where you have learning journeys, and community, where you can ask your questions if you want. And you can also have what's new in the releases. So as I told you, these are the different releases. As you can see, 2024.14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If you want to know what features were introduced in the past versions, then you can easily browse through the help as well. So there are three subsections of the help. We have the help topics, we have the learning content and the community, and then we have the announcements. This is an announcement section where you will see what's new functionality was introduced in the past versions. And you can also open past version if you want. Don't worry, I will walk you through this interface tomorrow, but I'm just giving you a glimpse of how SAC looks like. Now, the very, very important question, certification. I know many of you are already experienced in SAC and they are looking for certification. And many of you who are freshers, they are also looking for taking the certifications. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the certification. Previously, the certification was different. For reporting and dashboarding, it was a separate certification. And for planning, it was a separate certification. When I took the certification, I had to take two of them. One for reporting and dashboarding and one for planning. So I'm certified in both. But now recently what SAP has done is they have combined both of them into one certification, and that certification is called SAP Certified Associate Data Analyst SAC. And this is one of the links you can go through, and this link will give you the details of what are the topic areas you have to cover. It is a 2-hour test, 60 question test, 70% is the cut score. And you can also have sample questions. If you want to look at sample questions, you can look at that as well. Here you will see that we have story design. It will cover 21 to 30%. We have planning. It will cover 21 to 30%. We have data modeling and an integration, which will cover 21 to 30%, which also already covers 90% now. And then we have connections and data preparation, which will cover 11 to 20%. So these are, and if you want to see all, just click on view all. There is a performance section as well, which will be less than 10%, but it is also important. So these are the core areas: story design, planning, data modeling, connections, performance. And we are going to touch upon all of them, specifically focusing on planning. Of course, I'm going to tell you what data modeling is. I'm going to tell you the integration. We are going to do the integration. We are going to see how the connections are created. And then at the end, I will also tell you some performance optimization techniques and also security management we will touch upon. Again, we will not go into great detail of this, but we will definitely touch upon this because our focus is planning and story design and data modeling. So we'll focus on that, specifically on planning, but these also topics I'll touch upon. So my training will equip you for a real-time project. My training will equip you for taking on any interviews and taking on any real-time projects. But my training might not be sufficient for certification. This is just I just wanna put out that disclaimer right at the start of the session. Because many people, they are thinking that, okay, if I take this training, I'll be able to clear certification. I don't guarantee that. There is no guarantee. It all depends on you. So my training is more geared towards real-time scenario and real-time hands-on. That's why I might not be able to cover everything which is there on the certification, but definitely I will give you the practice questionnaire so that you will get an idea that what kind of questions you can expect. And also you have sample questions here. If you want to look at the sample question, you can look at the sample question here as well and practice on your own. Okay. So this is the certification. Now, important thing about certification is that the code is this. So remember the code CSAC 2415. 2415 means 2024.15. That is the version which the current certification is on. And again, I have given another link here. So here you will find further details. So if you click on this link, so there are both links possible. That is a learning link, and this is the actual training.sap.com link. You can see C_SAC_2415. That means 2024.15. That is the version on which they are testing you or they are taking the certification on. Again, there are sample questions here, so you can check the sample questions. Total exam questions will be 60. 2 hours is the window and 70% is the limit. That means you have to correct at least 42 questions out of 60. And then again, same thing here, it's given. So you have data modeling covering this. And these are your certification material, SAC 11, SAC P21. And these are your online exploring SAC, and these are learning journeys. So either you can go for books or you can complete the learning journeys. These are learning journeys. So both will cover the same content. So this is just to let you know that now there is just one certification which combines the reporting and dashboarding, and it also combines the planning side of it. All right, so let's look and feel in the system. Let's spend 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll quickly go through the interface, and then we will go through the basic terminologies used in SAC, which is again very important. And finally, we'll open the forum for question and answers. So SAC, assuming that you have gone for either basic trial or advanced trial, this is the advanced trial because it's C, you start with SAC trial, and the user is also P user. This is a trial user. So this is the basic interface of SAC. When you log in, this is the home page. This is the home page where you will land, and it will say hello trial user and the username. And then these are different sections on the top, which is your today is your default. Your default is today. Then you have catalog, where you can access your frequently used dashboards, frequently used input templates, frequently used planning applications, etc. So if you want to, not navigate to multiple places, you just want to have your most frequently used reports and dashboards and planning tools here, then you can publish them to catalog, and in the catalog, you can view them. Then you have your favorites as well. So your user specific favorite, if you want to add anything to the favorite, you can add that. And then if some other user has shared something with you, then you will find it in shared with me. So this is the basic interface of SAC. You should always go here in the profile, and then you should look at two different settings. One is profile settings. In the profile setting, you can change the language. As I told you, you can have different language. So SAC supports multiple languages. You can choose your language and change your language. Then you have your date format. If you don't want this format, if you want something else, you can do that. There are multiple formats available. You have time format. If you don't want the 24-hour format, you want the 12-hour format, you can do that. Number formatting, the decimal. This is the decimal notation. So this is the default. If you want to change the default, you can do that. Same thing for the currency position. If you want currency to be before the number, then you can have that. Or if you want to have a space between the number and the currency, or if you want to have after. So you can have all those different currency notations. Default application, SAC as a cloud is the default. If you have DataSphere, then of course, you can have DataSphere also here. But right now we are only dealing with SAC. So you can have SAC as your default. Clean up your notifications. So as you can see here, we have these notifications here. These are the notifications. I have 2 of them. New features are available. And tenant admin transfer ownership all content from F means first and last name to you. So that's what the notification is. You want to clear the notification, you can clear the notification. If you want automatic notification clearance, then you have to go to profile settings and you have to click on change. And then you can say that after 1 week, clean up the notification, or you can say, no, I don't want notifications to be cleared out. So you can either keep the default or you can change it. Email notifications, you want on what activities. If file request notification is there, you want email. System notification, you want an email. Product updates and learning, you want an email. And in-app notifications, file request, you want notifications or not, or email notification or not. You can save from here. You cannot change your email address. Once your email address, whatever is registered, once it's registered for the trial servers, you cannot change it. For the paid versions, you might be able to change it with your administrator. So if there's an administrator, he or she can change the email address, but for the trial, you cannot change your email address once it is registered. Okay. And the second thing, what you should, please hold on to your questions, guys. I'll open the forum for questions. And the second thing, what you can do is you can go to home screen settings. In the home screen setting, the default tab is today, but I don't want today. I want catalog because I want to access my most frequently used tiles and stories and your applications in catalog. So the default tab can be a catalog. If you don't want the light theme, you can go for SAP dark theme, and logo is SAP default. What is this logo? This on the left-hand side corner. If you want to change it to your company logo, for example, if you're working for company XYZ and that XYZ company has a logo and you want to put that logo as a default in SAC, then this is what you can do it from. And then I don't want calendar highlights. I don't want conversation highlights. I don't want get started. I don't want welcome message. Yeah, recent stories I want, recent files I want. And if you click on OK, then accordingly, your look and feel of your SAC will change. So you will see, you will have a much cleaner, as per my preferences. Of course, your preference might be different. So you will have a much cleaner, and of course, whatever you have chosen, it will show there. And then you can, it's a little bit of a darker theme, which I like, which is easy on my eyes. But if you don't like this, if you like the lighter theme, then you can go accordingly. So these are certain settings you should play around with for sure. And then these are the different options like your stories. I will tell you what is a story and everything. But this is just a overall very high level look and feel of SAC. You have the application, data analyzer, data set. So these are all the applications. And then you have the calendar also. And then below you have the workspace management. You can create a separate workspace if you want. Again, we will talk about that. What is a workspace, etc. But I'm just giving you an overall high level. Security, you can create users, teams, roles, requests. As you can see, it is disabled, right? And then transport, export, and import you can do. This is for moving your content from development to quality to production, etc. Then you have your account. So you can buy. So from here, because it's a free trial, that's why it is showing you that, okay, do you have a free trial account? But if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade to the business intelligence. And of course, you have other options also, which is your planning professional and planning standard. And then you create your connectivity with your different data sources. From here, there's a connection option. You can either connect to S/4HANA, BW for HANA, Google Cloud, or in fact, Google Drive also for your Excel sheets and all. You can connect to Google Drive. So this is where you will create your connections. And then this is the overview of your system. So your performance related stories are given. This is new. So SAC has given performance related statistics where you can measure the performance of your SAC, whether it's performing well or have you used the entire storage space? Are there any issues? So all those can be assessed and measured through this performance stories. And then you have overview and etc. You can have the overview of all the different applications, analytic applications and things like that. So don't worry, don't get bogged down by all these different terminologies. This is just to give you a basic look and feel of the SAC, but we will definitely go through each one of them in detail, step by step, so that you understand what's going on. But this is just a basic 5-minute overview of how SAC looks like. And then finally, some terminology is very important, okay? There is something called a canvas page. There is something called a connection. There is something called a data analyzer. There is something called a digital boardroom. Then we have model, planning, responsive page, story, widget, okay? Of course, there are many more terminologies like data action, multi-action is not included here. But for an absolute beginner, these are some basic terminologies you should know about. What is the basic terminology? First one I would say is story. Story is very, very important. A report is called a story in SAC. Okay. So you create a story and that story can be based on multiple pages. A story will have multiple pages and those pages can be a responsive page or a canvas page or a different type of a page. So we have multiple types of pages in a story. But essentially, what is a story? Story is a report. When I say build a report in SAC, you will actually create a story. The technical name is story. That's why the certification book will have the name story design. It will not have report design. Why? Because the technical name or the terminology used in SAC is a story for a report. And then we have different types of pages, which we will go through. A canvas page is a blank one. You can add all the different elements, whereas your responsive page is adjustable to the device on which you are looking at. So if you're looking at a mobile device, it will automatically adjust to the mobile screen. If you're looking at it on a computer, on a laptop, then it will automatically adjust. If you're looking at it on a big screen, it will automatically adjust. iPad, it will automatically adjust. So that is called a responsive page. It will respond to the device on which you are looking at it. So these are the different types of pages inside a story. And then we create something called a model, which we will see. A model is basically a unit which you have to create for a story. A story will always be built upon a model. It can either be a live model or it can be a model which stores data. Live model will not store data. Actual data it will not store. It will just store some metadata, which we will talk about. But just understand that model is the fundamental object in SAC on which stories are created. And then we have planning. So planning means you will input data. You will enter data in SAC. See, in reporting and dashboarding, you just load the data from source and you visualize the data. That is reporting. But in planning, you will actually enter the data in SAC either manually or through Excel upload. So you will enter the data and that data will go and sit in the model, and then you can build your reports, which is all called stories. So you can build your stories on top of your model, and then you can do your visualizations. Then there are some other terms also like connection. So you create a connection. Connection means SAC will get the data from which source, that is your connection. So you have to create a connection. So for example, if you want to integrate BW or if you want to integrate S4HANA, you have to first create a connection. And that connection will connect your SAC to your source system or your target system. SAC can also write the data back to the target systems also. So that is also a type of connection. So either it can load the data from source or it can write back the data to a target system also. That's possible. So, but for both of them, you have to first create a connection. That's how SAC will know that, okay, I have to connect to this particular source and load the data, or I have to connect to this particular target and write back the data. So that is what is called connection. And then data analyzer, I will discuss later on. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much of terminology. But the basic terminology which you should know is story, which is nothing but a report in SAC. Inside story, you have multiple pages, which are your responsive page or a canvas page, or there are two more types of page. So there are different types of pages. And then model, which actually stores the data for planning. It can also have live, like no data storage, just create a model and then in real time, you do the story. So story will be based on live model. That is called a live model. And then the model which stores the data is called a import data model. So basic fundamental is first you have to create a connection, then that you have to create a model, and then you have to create a story. This is the basic infrastructure which you have to build inside SAC. Connectivity, model, and your story. And then all these complicated things like your pages, widgets, etc. will come. But first, I want you to just keep these three terminologies in mind: story, your model, and your connectivity, connections. Very, very basic and very, very important. There are lots of other terms which we will discuss as we go. But for now, I just want to tell you these three. Okay, someone asked me that for S4HANA, which vendor you are using. So I am using this vendor, and this is now 2022, this is latest. BW for HANA, they also provide BW for HANA, which is 2021, if I'm not wrong. So the vendor I'm using is GetTrained. Okay, so this is their email ID for GetTrained, and they have the following setup. S4HANA, they will give you the 2022, but this is an on-prem. Please remember that this is not a HANA S4HANA cloud version. This is an on-prem 2022 version. They have BW for HANA 2021 version. They have VPC as well. They have native HANA 2.0 Access Advanced activated. They have SDA configured, and they have SAC also integrated with BW for HANA. If you want to connect your SAC trial with their BW for HANA, they have the necessary configurations. So I'm using this vendor GetTrained for my hands-on, which I'm going to show you. If you want to take the S4HANA system from them, more than welcome. But if you have already a specific vendor you are dealing with in your past, then you can take the S/4HANA system from them as well. Okay. All right. I have talked enough. I think there's a lot of content for day one. I'm sorry if it is overwhelming, but don't worry. This is just the beginning. We will go through step by step everything in SAC. We will build together the model. We will build together the story. We'll build together the S/4HANA related CDS views and all those source objects. So you will get to know step by step in the flow. Don't worry. So with that, I will stop the no, actually, let me not stop the recording. I will open the forum for any Q&A. Or do you think I should keep the Q&A separate for the first session? Yeah, you know what? I will keep it separate. I will keep it separate. So please stay in this call. I am going to stop the recording now for the main class. So this will conclude the main class recording. And then I will restart the recording for Q&A so that I can upload the Q&A separately for today's session. Okay. So just bear with me. I know there are multiple questions. Just bear with me. I will stop the recording now. So thank you for attending the first session. I hope it was useful for you. And I hope you will stick with us and complete the end-to-end journey with us for the SAC planning. All right. I'm stopping the recording for first session.